Hello and welcome to my channel. This week I had a returning client who wanted a farm animal themed cake for her grandson's first birthday. So let's get started. They requested two main figurines, a cow and a horse. First, I started making the cow's body from a ball of fondant and molded it with my hands. Then I made the four legs, but they were a little too long, so I had to trim them down to make them shorter. Now I attached the body using 4 toothpicks inserted into the legs. Then I molded the head and used my fondant tools to make the eye sockets. Since the head was quite heavy, I added a styrofoam ball underneath for support. So here I added a few details like the eyes and nostrils. I'm using black fondant for the eyes, the eyelashes, and the eyebrows. And of course, cows should have black spots, so I added those to the body and the head. For the ears, I hand cut white pieces of fondant, which I attached to the head. After attaching the ears, they kept drooping, so I placed 2 small bottles of my gel colors to support them. Just a little tip, you can use whatever you have at home for supporting some fondant pieces that are quite heavy and leave them to dry overnight, and they'll be nice and firm the next day. Here, I just added the details for the mouth, the hair and the cow's tail. Next, I made the horse in the same way as the cow. So I started with the head. This horse will be sitting down instead of standing, so I inserted a floral wire to support the head and placed a styrofoam ball underneath to keep it from sagging. I rolled 4 equal pieces of brown fondant for the legs and attached them with edible glue. Then I added the eyes, eyelashes, eyebrows, and the ears. The horse ears are not too big, so I didn't have to use any support. Here I attached the hair of the horse, which I learned that it is also called mane. I added the nostrils and mouth using the round end of a piping tape. The next figurines were a mother duck and 2 ducklings. I used yellow fondant, and again I just molded it with my hands. Then I added details for the eyes and beaks. The pieces were tiny, so they were a bit tricky to attach. I used my edible pen to draw the pupils. The next step was to make the duck's wings. I rolled a ball of fondant and using my shell fondant tool, press it flat. Then I cut small lines to create the look of feathers on the wings. Next, I covered my 12-inch cake board with green fondant and used a texture impression mat to add details instead of leaving it plain. Then I made the barn. I cut small rectangles of cake pieces and inserted a skewer for support so it wouldn't wobble when I added buttercream or shape it into a barn. Here, I'm covering the cake with Swiss meringue buttercream to catch all the crumbs and trimming it into a firm, clean barn shape. This cake is a 9-inch vanilla sponge filled with Swiss meringue buttercream. I also added a layer of white chocolate ganache before covering it with fondant. Ganache is much firmer than buttercream, so I always prefer using it under fondant for a smooth finish. I applied the ganache to the bun as well to create a smooth surface. The cake was covered with green fondant to match the board. Another tip before covering with fondant, don't forget to brush sugar syrup on the ganache so the fondant sticks properly. For the barn, I used red fondant with a wood grain texture mat, which gave me a really nice effect. I trimmed off the excess. And use the same texture mat with white fondant for the door and the roof. I added a number 1 to the barn because the birthday boy is turning 1. Then I used brown fondant for the fans, also textured with the wood grain mat, and I arranged the pieces in an alternating crisscross and horizontal pattern. I piped some buttercream grass around the bottom of the cake. And on the top near the barn. Then I placed the horse and cow figurines. I made the pond with marbled blue and white fondant to create a water effect. And then I added the mother duck and ducklings there. I figured there should be a path for the animals to walk to the barn, so I added stepping stones and some little fondant flowers for extra charm. Last but not least, I made a wooden style name plaque embossed with my letter embosser, and then I hand painted it to make the name stand out. I added the message happy first birthday case and of course the birthday candle for the little boy to blow out. And here it is, a farm animal themed cake for Case who just turned 1. I hope you find this tutorial helpful. Thank you for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time.